name's Becky Buckland, and she's awesome. And when I moved here, I was telling her about the moving van, and I said, the moving company is going to come and check out our road, and talk to the authorities just to make sure it was okay to park on that road. And Becky goes, authorities? We don't have any authorities here. And then the next thing I asked her after we made closing on the house, I said, how big does our yard go out? And she goes, well, how much do you want to mow? So that's how I was introduced to Maryland. I just love it. So today's 420, and people are apparently celebrating. I read a couple theories on, it was a dispatcher to the police, that people were enjoying marijuana. I saw that it was Hitler's birthday, and I wondered if people were just in awe of the Z's on the back of his arm. And then I heard about that teenage kids were at 4:20 in the afternoon, when they got out of high school, they would all meet and smoke pot. And I'm thinking that that's the one that really worked, because there's still friends of mine that I cannot contact at 4:20 in the afternoon. So in my teens, I learned that an ounce, to measure an ounce, was 4 fingers. So I went to bartending school, and they had said to me, do you know how to measure an ounce? And I said, well, yeah, 4 fingers. And they're like, no, we really measure an ounce with a shot glass. But to this day, when I make my cocktails, I use the 4-finger ounce. So my neighbor has, their address is 420, and their mailbox is purple. That's all I really have to say about that. So where we moved from Yardley, Pennsylvania, and the gas stations are, Luke Oil and Exxon. Now I'm starting to think that Cecil Tuckey was able to vote because they all have highs. And highs, they did have a sign up, but it's not there anymore. I did my research. And it says, if you walk in here and we don't greet you or thank you, please call the district office. So when I first went to Highs the very first time, it was like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I walked in, and this little girl was sitting behind the counter asleep. And I go, excuse me, would you wait on me? And she went, hi. I couldn't call her on it that she didn't acknowledge me, and so that was pretty funny. I like that little store. I like the Highs. It's a good store. Now, I go to the liquor store. Is it wrong that they say to me, you're running a little late today? And so I know the man by heart. His name is Stan. I said, actually, I'm on my way to a comedy act. And he goes, oh, you do comedy? I said, yes, I do comedy. And he goes, write down the information. I said, well, you can look for me on YouTube, or you can Google me. He goes, I'm not doing anything tomorrow night. I think I'll Google you. I felt a little dirty. I'm a married woman. I'm like, oh, okay. I like that. Yes. Thank you. So the next thing, grocery stores. Now, the first thing that you have to remember is not to forget your list. You gotta remember your list or you're screwed. So bear with me. I have not forgotten my list since December 1981. I was a portrait photographer in a studio, and I was managing the studio, and I sold the pictures. And this big black mama comes in, and oh my God, and she's got her grandbaby with her. Now there's 2 things that a big black mama likes. One is pictures of her grandbabies and her Lord. So I just she came in, I came to pick up my photographs. I said, okay. She had Shanika with her. I'm like, okay, Shanika. She goes, you go sit over there. We're looking at the pictures. There's Shanika, Anika, Jerome, and Katie in the pictures. And I'm like, Katie, well, my son has a sense of humor. So she's bringing out all the pictures and she's looking and she goes, well, you know, I have a list. And I'm like, okay, I got my list right here. She pulls out her list. She's looking at the pictures, she's loving them. Okay. She goes, how much are we at now? And now Lashika comes over and Lashika's hungry. And she goes, oh, no problem, child. I got a cheese sandwich in here for you. Here, now run along and let me finish my business with Miss Jan. So the bill came to $195, and she goes, I got a coupon. Left side's the list, right side's the coupon. She pulls out the coupon. I said, you just saved yourself $20. So she goes, okay, so you're down to $175.50 now. Oh, okay. Well, I got $175 right here. And there's 2 quarters in. I'm like, we'll just let the quarters go. So that's how I learned list on the left, coupons on the right. So now we're going to the food store, folks. And I'm walking around and I made the mistake of wearing my transitional bifocal glasses, which makes everything look huge. Like mustard, $1.39 for that. Now, I started wearing them to bed because it just made everything look huge. So we're in the grocery store, and you know, the ribeye roast, it was only $7. Like, this is amazing. Okay, so I got my cart full, and I'm in line, and the woman in front of me, she was well coiffed. I could tell she was a business person. She had rings, you know, her hair was beautiful, and she reaches in her shopping cart, and she pulls out her 12.5 egg carton. And she just so gently hands them to the cashier. And I'm watching this, you know, and all of a sudden she reaches in her cart and she starts throwing everything on the belt. She took her Wheaties, she was just tossing everything. She had it. She was done. And then she couldn't reach her vegetables that was in the baby seat, so I'm in it. This lady's part of my tribe now. I like her. I get her. I never understood a woman so quickly until I saw this one just tossing her groceries because she was just done. So I helped her, and I helped her with her cantaloupe and her cucumbers and lettuce. And now they had 2 baggers at the end because they want to get rid of this broad, right? So she's there, and she's paying, and she turns around, she looks, and she goes, thank you. She takes her cart, and I said, now, you know I had to ask her this question. I had to ask her. I said, excuse me. She goes, yes. Are you from Jersey? Yes, I am. Nailed it. Nailed it. So now, it's my turn. Now, there's one thing. You can whimsically fill up your cart with whatever you want. I mean, you can put $200 worth of lobster tails in there if you want to. But there's one thing in the food store. They hide from you. They won't let you have them unless you ask. Brown paper bags. What's the deal with the brown paper bags? You ask for one, they'll give you one. The one day, the girl, I asked for 4 of them, and she had a stack of them. I was all excited. So I grabbed them with 2 hands, and she grabbed them with 2 hands, and we were like in a tug of war. So I let go. I know. It takes you a minute on that, right? So, yeah, the brown paper bags. And I'm like, what? Am I not brown paper bag worthy? What's up with this with you people? You need a brown paper bag to shuck your corn in the summer. I mean, come on. So, and I've got cans. I've got 10 cans. Like, I always state my case of how I need the brown paper bags. Okay, so then you got all you pay, and you get all your stuff, and you put it in your car. And then you bring it home and you put it on your counter. And it's all these things that you really can't open. I mean, the Heinz ketchup. You take the white cap off, and there's this piece of foil there with something that's the size of an ant that you're supposed to tug and open it up. I don't even want to buy cream cheese anymore. Struggling with that seam, and then the cream cheese lands on the counter. It's like, how dirty was that counter because I can't wash the cream cheese? Oh God, it's just so stressful. It really just drives me crazy. So I have been asked again to tell you the stories about my husband and I. So I met him on Match.com. Yes, I did. I was tired of dating customers. I was bartending for 30 years. And the one day that convinced me was two gentlemen that I had dated were the only two people at the bar at 2 o'clock on an afternoon. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And I had met some crazy people. I mean, one guy, I never gave my address out, ever. And I just had my name. And he messaged me on the computer and said, I really like your outdoor patio furniture. And that like freaked me out, I'm like, oh my God. And then I met this one guy, I liked him, but it wasn't anything there, but I really liked him. He would only dance on couches. That was the only place he would dance. I mean, and it was fun towards the end of the night, like who's gonna fall first? That was good. And let's see, I met this one guy at the bar and he kept saying, we. I'm like, okay, pal, how long you been married? You got this we thing down. So then there was one more person I just wanted to meet, and he messaged me, and I told him I'm a little scared right now. There's a Hurricane Floyd coming in, and my trees, have all these big trees in my backyard, and I'm scared that they're gonna fall. So I wrote that to him in a message, and he messages me back and said, well, I have a chainsaw and I know how to use it. And I'm like, oh, terrific, yeah, you're the perfect man for me. I was terrified. So I just left him right there. And then he messaged me again, did I offend you? Oh, no, would you at least talk to me on the phone? Sure. So we were on the phone for 3 hours. I'm like, I date this guy. I really like this guy. So I invited him, yes, this is my husband now, but I invited him over to eat dinner with me. Weeks had gone by and I wanted him to meet my son. And I showed him, I knew he was all about the tools. He was very excited about tools, hence the chainsaw. So I showed him my seam ripper. I'm like, look, it's got its own little top, and if you can rip out a seam, which I knew he would never use because he's a guy. But he was impressed. And then I had my son, we were eating dinner, and my son said the chicken wasn't done good enough, so I picked it up and I picked up the last piece that was laying on the plate and I threw it right in his face. 6 weeks later, Glenn asked me to marry him. And I really think it was my parental skills that he was admired the most. So, when you think about licenses, you gotta get the marriage license. And I color my hair, and even on the box it says permanent for 6 to 8 weeks. But a marriage license is forever. I mean, you can go and catch a fish and bring it home, but you need a license. You need a license for that. But to go have a baby, I mean, that's a free-for-all. You've got to get a license. You don't even have to get a license for a baby. I mean, I never really could figure that out. And why, when you get a license for driving, you have to have a permit, and you have to drive with somebody responsible, but anything else is pretty much a free-for-all. So we did get our permanent license, and we'll be married 15 years, June 23rd. I'm sorry, June 19th. Whoa. So I told Glenn, I said, I really want to go to Italy. I said, this is momentous for me. I've never been in a relationship married this long ever. I said, I just want to cross the pond. I really want to do this. And I promised him that I would bring him back really cool souvenirs and take lots of pictures. I wasn't going to take them. You good? No. Okay, I'll move on. So, spouses. We ask our spouses, we've had conversation with our spouses that we would probably never have with a girlfriend or, you know, and one morning we were eating breakfast, and I said to my husband, I said, you know, my poops were green this morning. And he goes, well, honey, let's think about this. We had tuna noodle casserole last night. There was peas in that. No, hon, it was more like spinach. And he's like, pass this all. This is breakfast, you know. And then I said to him, you know, I got hemorrhoids. And he goes, you do? I go, yeah. I got some hemorrhoids. And then I had to ask him the question, would you take a picture? Yeah, that was a marriage moment. Now, I've been called an asshole before, and I've called a lot of other people assholes before, but I never saw one. So my husband, he's a 40-minute pooper. Yes, he is. It's 40 minutes. Yep. And it took me a long time to actually figure this out because he takes his computer in with him. Oh, so you're in the bathroom 40 minutes with your computer. Well, you know I had to check this shit out. You know, I had to check it out. So he left his computer open. It was sitting in the bathroom just doing nothing. So I opened it up and I hit recent searches. How do you pickle beets? Should you pay off your mortgage before you retire? What's the traditional 15-year anniversary present? Okay, yeah. You know, what was the other one? Oh, here we go. Meet Tiana and her two sisters. Okay, now we're into something good. So I hit, you know I had to hit that. Tiana saved her two sisters in a drowning car in Yardley, Pennsylvania. Yes. What are you, a freaking Boy Scout? I mean, come on. So I got nothing on him. And I was thankful that he didn't call me on the 20 minutes that I spend with my electric toothbrush every day. No, he didn't mention that at all. So, I like my dentist, and the last time I went, I was not in the mood to go to the dentist. It was freezing cold. It was in February. I was really grumpy. I didn't want to go. I walk in, and my regular dental hygienist has moved on, relocated, and then the receptionist gave me 3 pages of paperwork, and I just didn't want to deal with this. And then I'm doing the paperwork, and the last page, I just started writing WTF. WTF, WTF, LMAO, I'm done with this. That's where I was at. And then this perky little girl comes in, and she's my dental hygienist. Way too cute, way too young, way too perky, and she was so efficient. I mean, 50 minutes with my teeth. I had had enough of her. So I said to her, you know, my last dental hygienist didn't like it when you ate Oreos. What pisses you off? She goes, Cheetos. I hate Cheetos. They come in with Cheetos. Jan, rinse. So I take and I rinse. And I go, well, good to know. She goes, I heard that, good to know. Jan, if you come in here with Cheetos, I'm taking away your goodie bag. Oh, my goodie bag. I love my goodie bag. The Listerine travel with the toothbrush. She got me where it hurts. So a couple minutes later, she said, the dentist will be in to see you. The dentist said, I'd like to speak to you about the last page of your questionnaire that I asked you. I said, okay, well, I'm asking your age, 55 to 65, and you wrote LMAO. I know what that means, Jan. I'm on Facebook. And I go, well, it meant leave my age out. She goes, oh, okay. Now, and then we asked you the question, how many times do you, how often do you use more than 2 pillows? And you wrote WTF. And I go, well, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. She's just glaring at me because that was a moment, yes. So then she says that, she goes, okay, now your medication. You wrote vodka. Oh, well, yeah. And then you wrote a 4. And then you wrote SMTWTFS. I'm like, well, yeah, vodka 4 times a day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What part of this don't you understand? Okay, Jan. So it's time to go up and make another appointment. And the receptionist says to me, oh, you must have pissed off the dentist. And I said, why? She goes, well, she writes little notes. I'm like, oh, what did she write? She wrote SABT. And I go, well, what does that mean? Oh, she put a smiley face next to it, Jan. I said, well, what does SABT mean? She goes, well, it means she's a bitch today. Yep, nailed me on that one. So, I wish it was. With a big straw. So, cell phones. Cell phones, they're driving me crazy. I'm between, the past and the future, and now my friends, some of them in their 60s, they drop their landline, but they don't pay attention to their cell phone because it's not their life. I've got a flip phone, and I've made a new friend. Her name was Denise, and I said to her, she goes, oh, I want your cell phone number. I said, well, okay, but I really don't pay attention to that. I said, look, take my landline, and, I'll get a message, and I'll call you back. Oh, no, I would never do that. And I looked at her, and I go, why? You scared I'm going to answer? So, you've heard the expression MAGA, right? Make America great again. So, MAGA, yeah, okay. Well, apparently my son says MAGA 3 times a month. And he doesn't have a political bone in his body. Well, I found this out. When I call him and he's playing like Texas Hold'em or Yahtzee, he looks at his phone and says, MAGA. And one of his friends said to him, well, what does that mean? Mom ain't gonna answer. So, now, let this saga play out. Saga, S-A-G-A, right? So I'll let you know how this saga turns out. Because when my phone rang the other day, saga, son ain't gonna answer. So, we all like to indulge ourselves with Facebook. And, I like to make a cocktail, curl up. It's usually between 4 and 5, waiting for my husband to come home from work. I'm done sipping my cocktails. And then some nights I'll go out in the hot tub. Well, every night I go out in the hot tub, but I'll go out in the hot tub. And then I'll come back in, and now it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I still have my cocktails. And I go on to Facebook. Well, usually I'm okay, I'm good. Well, the next morning, one morning I woke up and I had 53 notifications. Now that's a lot for me. I have over 100 friends, but I'm really in touch with maybe 30 of them. So like 53 notifications. And I'm looking at and I'm walking around the iPad, like, do I want to pick that up? Do I want to I open it up and I see 53 notifications. I looked over at my counter and I said, Vodka, what did you do? So I look at him, it's like, well,
coming. Oh, you offered to help the girl pack that always wants to go to the beach? I get that. And, oh, yeah, you winked at that guy? Well, wink's okay, but he's married. I mean, you gotta be a little careful, Vaca, you know. Don't be flirting with people when I don't know what's going on. You know, and, you know, some people you just want to say, you gotta turn the light on for God, okay? He keeps turning it on for you. So, you know, you have to really, and then I just, you know, the politics, I had to stop that altogether. But Vaca pretty much handled everything. Oh, he did make this one girl laugh, and she was down. I was like, okay, good, you did good with her. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So you have your friends on Facebook, and I've made some new friends in Maryland, and, you know, they pick on me. They're absolutely brutal. I mean, even Polly says to me, you know, your hair looked really good today until you went like that. And then I told this one girl, I said, you know, I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm not going outside on the deck. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. Well, thank you for the support. And then I finally confided, I think it was Polly, and I said, these people are brutal. And she goes, well, that means we like you. And I'm, well, they were so much nicer to me when they didn't like me. I was very confused about all that. But and then she had said, well, we didn't invite you to anything then. You know, I'm like, oh, it's true, because they keep me very busy. Oh, and I love it. And I know that thank you cards are the thing of the past, but all the things that we are insulted by or offended by, we're letting people get away with not writing thank you notes. So, since I don't have all your addresses and names here, this is my thank you note to you. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying this evening with me. I love you.